Hey everybody, I'm in a lot of pain right now. My face got very swollen. I'll be back very soon.
In the morning, I can't sleep. My jaw's busted. They wired it up a couple hours ago and it hurts every time I move my mouth. I lost tonight. I gave everything and I still lost. Feels like I let everyone down. I'm not unbreakable.
Jake Paul's boxing dream didn't just end, it imploded. A shattered jaw, missing teeth, and Gervonta Davis laughing from the sidelines told the story no highlight reel could hide. The real shock wasn't that Anthony Joshua knocked him out. It was how violently fast the illusion fell apart, and why this moment could permanently alter Jake's future in the sport. This wasn't a routine knockout. It was a public unraveling. When Jake hit the canvas for the fourth time and couldn't rise, the fight was over, but the fallout was only beginning. Stay right here, because next we're breaking down the damage most people missed live, and why this loss cuts far deeper than the record books will ever show.
But it causes repeated trauma to the brain. And over years and years of this happening, people can get what's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE syndrome. And it's almost like a disease because with repeated trauma to the brain, and that can lead to memory problems, mood swings, even trouble with movements, and eventually people can develop dementia like Alzheimer's disease. And Jake Paul got knocked out by Anthony Joshua this past Friday night. So I want to break this down from a medical perspective. I'm a neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience. And so, you know, what happens is when you get hit in the head with that kind of force, like in boxing, our brain actually moves inside our skull and it can bump into the skull, which is a firm structure, and cause bruising of the...
Hours later, Jake posts the x-rays. A jaw snapped in 2 places. Titanium plates lined up. Teeth gone. And somehow, the caption is even more shocking than the image itself, calling out Canelo while lying in a hospital bed. Don't scroll, because that single post set the boxing world on fire. The call-out went viral for all the wrong reasons. Fans mocked it. Fighters shook their heads. And insiders quietly admitted what they'd been saying all along. Anthony Joshua's power is not a game. And Jake Paul didn't just lose. He walked headfirst into a completely different level of violence. And in just a moment, I'll explain why doctors are saying this kind of damage changes everything.
With my brother, unfixable.
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb and you fucking ate it.
Jake Paul Joshua.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what, a lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's gonna get what they've finally been waiting for.
I'm a little fucked up, but when you take care of me forever and ever...
Behind the scenes, the situation was far darker than Instagram ever showed. Emergency surgery through the night. Surgeons racing to stabilize fractures they normally see in car wrecks, not boxing rings. And if you think that's exaggeration, stay with me, because the medical details are brutal. 4 hours on the operating table. Titanium plates bolted into place. Doctors privately admitting the final right hand shattered both sides of Jake's mandible at once, a level of force that instantly reframed every warning experts gave before the fight. And this is where the story takes a savage turn. Because while sympathy poured in from some corners, Gervonta "Tank" Davis was watching it all with pure satisfaction. And if you want to understand why Tank's reaction split the sport straight down the middle, stay with me, because this is where the controversy explodes. Sources close to Davis say the hospital photos didn't scare him. They entertained him, laughing, replaying the knockout, repeating one sentence over and over. Jake was never built for real boxing. And before you judge that reaction, wait until you hear the bad blood that led here.
私は少しめちゃくちゃだけど、あなたは永遠に私を大事にしてくれますか?
Jake Paul gets his jaw broken. Not only that, but he gets his lower jaw broken from the right and the left side. So both sides. And not only this, following that, he went through an emergency surgery procedure to get that sorted out, and titanium plates were inserted to help stabilize the case. This will take long to fully heal.
Drinking every night and doing all this and beat you.
Yeah, it was bad.
If you look at the fight, he was much slower. He only threw a hook. Like, He was going like tie him down and catch him with a good shot and shit like that.
So wait, do you think, curious, because it's a business aspect, but again, I'm still a nigga and I'm still a casual fan, so I'm being real, so hold on.
A couple of times, pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching.
To Anthony Joshua sleeping Jake and breaking his jaw in 2 different places, along with breaking his teeth. Gervonta joined the fun with the rest of the boxing community by throwing a meme on Jake Paul. That was his reaction, as you guys see above.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. Question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake would be
down on Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times, 1 by just jabbing in the air, and 2 when he caught him, he...
This rivalry didn't start with Anthony Joshua. It started months earlier when Jake Paul called out Gervonta "Tank" Davis, mocked him publicly, questioned his professionalism, and lit the fuse on a fight that was supposed to happen in Miami. And don't go anywhere, because the collapse of that fight explains everything you're seeing now. When legal issues canceled the bout, Jake didn't stay quiet. He went nuclear, dragging Tank's name across social media, calling him garbage, unprofessional, worse. And in that moment, a debt was created, one Tank has been waiting to collect ever since. So when Joshua did exactly what everyone warned would happen, Tank didn't see a tragedy. He saw validation. Memes started flying. Private messages leaked. The boxing internet erupted, split down the middle over one question. Was this cruel or was it deserved? Some fans say Tank crossed a line mocking a man with a wired jaw and missing teeth. Others say Jake built his entire brand on disrespect and finally paid the price. And if you think that argument is settled, wait, because the recovery timeline makes this even uglier. Doctors say bilateral jaw fractures like this don't heal fast. 6 to 8 months minimum before any contact. Possibly a full year away. Extensive dental reconstruction. Implants. Bone grafts. A long road back to anything resembling normal. And this is where Jake's career hits a crossroads. Because for the first time, Jake himself sounded unsure. Admitting he needs to fight smaller opponents. Admitting heavyweight was a mistake. Admitting he's stepping back. And those words hit harder than any punch, because they signal something new. Not just physical damage. A mental shift.
Yes, I'm okay. Just pray for me, alright?
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and you know he's getting what you know, he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything. Doesn't do any promotion.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake would be.
AJ back. AJ came right back in and swung, but he did move him back.
When this fight was first announced, you said to several media members that like initially you weren't down for this fight. You thought it was just a little bit too much too soon, to paraphrase. Did he do better? Did Jake do better than you thought? Result aside, obviously you wanted him to win. You thought, I think by the end that he was going to win, but did he actually do better than you thought initially?
And doesn't do any posts, but It is what it is. I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get, the biggest bully check of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Yeah, just a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jadon Love ass. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing.
Even Anthony Joshua showed respect afterward, saying Jake was tougher than expected and took shots that would have folded real heavyweights. And somehow, that respect made the loss sting more. Because bravery doesn't erase reality. Now the boxing world is left with one burning question. Does this end Jake Paul's experiment with elite boxing? Or does it ignite a revenge arc that drags him back into danger once he heals? And don't click away, because the answer might already be forming. Tank Davis is still champion. Still trending. Still watching his name stay attached to Jake's collapse. And the cancelled fight now feels bigger than ever. Because if Jake comes back, that shadow is waiting. Until then, the memes keep spreading. The debates keep raging. And the image that won't disappear is Jake Paul smiling before the fight, and lying broken afterward. A before and after that tells the entire story in one frame. This wasn't just a loss. It was a warning shot to every influencer who thinks confidence can replace consequence. And as Jake recovers in silence and Tank laughs in public, boxing does what it always does. It reminds everyone that reality eventually hits back.
Right, listen, respect to Jake. You know, he was a tough guy in there. Obviously, he moved a lot and made it difficult for AJ. And AJ's been out of the ring for a while. He's a bit rusty. It took him time to just get hold of him, but I was impressed with Jake. And listen, as I said to Nagisa, at the end of the day, he took shots that a lot of people would have got knocked out, clean out by, especially at the end, you know. So, yeah.
Was it frustrating for you to watch?
No, I mean, maybe, like, obviously, when someone's moving like that, like,
respect to Jake Paul that we took a few rounds to get going because Jake was moving a lot and holding a lot, and you know it was difficult to nail him clean. I think, but eventually AJ took his time, cut him off, and smashed him about. And listen, respect to Jake Paul because that last shot, I know he broke his, shattered his jaw, but it would have knocked most heavyweights out. So I've got to give him credit.
I was going to say, in the end, are you pleased with that? Because obviously everyone was saying...
We'll argue that. He at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet. Who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet, my brother.
When someone's rugby tackling you, you've got to do what you have to do to survive, and Jake did that. So yeah, it's very difficult to be out of the ring for 14 months and then come back razor sharp against a guy who's constantly moving. It probably went 2 or 3 rounds longer than expected, but fair play to Jake Paul. He was a lot tougher than I thought he'd be, and he took far more shots than I expected him to handle. What did AJ say to you inside the ring about the fight? He said it was a wicked fight. He showed respect to Jake for taking it, acknowledged that Jake took some heavy shots, and said he put on a fantastic performance. But at the end of the day, big respect to AJ. We knew from day one the better fighter was going to win. Some people said Jake was running. Do you agree? Look, AJ is a big, strong guy who can seriously hurt you. So, of course you're going to want to avoid his power. Jake got caught in the corner, bang, and that was it. Otherwise, he would have kept moving around the ring at 100 miles per hour. There were two options: either try to shut Jake down immediately or apply steady pressure. Jake chose movement. I chose pressure. What could I have done better? A lot of things, 100%. That's the fight game.
And when they're rugby tackling you, but he had to do what he had to do to survive, and he did that. So you know, it's very difficult to go in like, you know, out the ring for 14 months and just look and just be razor sharp with a guy running. And so yeah, probably 2 or 3 rounds more than expected. But fair play to Jake Paul. He was a lot tougher than I thought, and he took a lot more shots than I thought he could.
What did AJ tell you inside the ring about the fight?
Wicked fight. Respect to Jake Paul for taking the fight. Took a heavy shot, but you know what a fantastic fight he put on. But big well done to AJ. We knew from day one AJ was going to do it, but the better fighter was going to win.
People said that Jake Paul was running. Do you feel like he ran or do you?
I mean, against someone like AJ, AJ's a big guy, strong guy, and he can hurt you. So yeah, 100%, like, he's going to want to avoid his power, but you know what, he got caught in the corner and bang, he was out.
Or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that
We'll argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring to ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet. Who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet. My brother
have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron, is fighting's not just physical, it's psychological.